welcome. And thank you so much for joining me today. We are tuning into the frequencies of family and love, the divine love that comes from the new moon. Today is the new moon in Virgo day, and on Thursdays we connect to the spirit of the divine matter and the frequency of family to heal families, to heal relationships, to support kids, to support mothers. And today's energy, particularly because of the new moon, it's very sensitive to the energy of the masculine and the feminine, which are always a beautiful dance or a difficult dance in the families. And we want to connect to the frequency that we carry inside ourselves as children, whatever our inner child has brought in and is experiencing, even today, even if we are grown-up people or if we are still children, there is always an inner child that it's a second voice inside, it's a second container that it's bringing something that's unfinished. Sometimes it's a nostalgic, and even if it's positive, it's a nostalgic tune into it that creates a blockage of energy. So because this new moon has the relationship between the Virgo and Mars retrograde, there's a lot of masculine way of educating children, a way of interacting as the parents were interacting with each other and with the children, that we are invited to rediscover, that we are invited to see if there's anything that we need to revive and release. So the sound healing that we're going to do today is going to be directed to the inner child and to children, to allow the energy of the masculine and the feminine to recreate a flow like in a river. And see, I invite you to ponder, to receive this frequency, to receive the sound, to breathe it in, so that try to discover what is, be curious, what is that is moving inside of you. So just breathe in and see how the Maranzano has the ability to go through the subtle bodies and reshape the, if it is rigidity, if it is walls, it's able to go within and to reshape the limits, reshape the space that we have inside, and in a very playful way takes us inside this chamber that we don't even know we have. So I'm gonna go now the next singing bowl, and we keep tuning into this frequency of the dialogue between the masculine and the feminine. Where it's happening, it's the divine matter, the divine heart that nurtures us is within each one of us. And it's really highlighted by the Virgo new moon today. And so I want to really focus on the experience of this divine matter that it's taking care of the inner child. The inner child always needs attention and needs to grow and needs to allow your adult self, your mother self, to be in charge. So we open spaces with this experience of meditation, focusing specifically to this topic, to really remind ourselves that we need to do this work. We need to create this space for the inner child. We need to take time to give attention to our inner child. So there is a new, it's almost a new era coming in with this new moon, because this new moon comes after a very intense period of the Virgo season, and is changing, is shifting, has brought to for us new feminine, a feminine that we really don't know yet. It's a feminine that functions in complete forgetfulness of victimism. It's a feminine that has not only abandoned the victimism, but it looks like she's not even remembering what the victimism is. So humanity as we know it is based on the consciousness of victimism. We are all victimized by the government, by banks, by violent people, by wars. There is really consciousness, victim consciousness is everywhere. So imagine women and children have been really the container, like the expression of this consciousness. Imagine a feminine that doesn't allow victimism to be part of her being, which is the feminine of the goddess. And so what I invite you is to really be curious. What is this feminine that's coming in? What it's bringing? How is going to change us? How can we enter this space of new era that's happening right now? If the feminine changes, if the world change, it's that important. So with the song, what was happening was the shift of parameters that were inside ourselves of the masculine and the feminine. We grew up looking at and receiving models, inputs from the models that our parents were playing in the masculine and feminine roles. And not necessarily the mother was the feminine and the father the masculine. Sometimes the roles are inverted, because really the masculine and feminine don't relate to the gender, but just what is the energy of choice that we trust more, that we judge that will be more successful, that will give us most. So what we carry, it's not necessarily a really original or authentic energy of the masculine and the feminine. We carry these prototypes as our inner child carries these prototypes that creates a reality that it comes from these inner prototypes. Today, I would like to really tune into this space of the inner child and allow your higher self, your higher consciousness to receive, to have an idea, which kind of prototypes are you serving? Which kind of prototypes are influencing your choices, your ideas of life and your behavior and your perception of life itself. So let's go a little deeper and see if we can look at these prototypes through the eyes of the vibration of the sound, and just be ready to receive any kind of insights and message and take notes so that you can ponder on it later on. take this space, amplify the space that the sound has created, and really feel the discomfort or the release, anything that you can perceive, and bask into it. Just really be open to it and see how this energy is touching you. And of course, for shifts to happen and energies to be healed, there is an opportunity, it is a possibility that we have a sense of discomfort. And discomfort shouldn't be an obstacle, it shouldn't be a reason for us not to go through it. There's this shaking of the energies that needs to happen, and if we want to maintain the status quo, and even if it's not pleasant but it's familiar, then there's no shifting happening, and it becomes very hard because the universe is creating a lot of shifts, and to resist that kind of shift, it's really creating a lot of opposition. And when we use this opposition, we throw out in life this opposition, really what we get back is opposition. So in front of your obstacles, of the health that it's peculiar, and really life it's outside the flow. So right now, if you connect to your inner child today and in the next couple of weeks, really be aware that you need to become this pillar, that it's the parent of your inner child. And your pillar can be renewed by these frequencies that are really bringing up everything that was surrogate, the surrogate of mother, surrogate of father, surrogate of the feminine, the masculine, surrogate of power, surrogate of safety and security. Keep in mind that this year is all based on discomfort and really coming out of denial, coming out of wanting to believe what we want to believe and not wanting to see what it is. Now, when we see what it is, we go into a space of shock sometimes, and the next level after shock is acceptance. So if your inner child start to really accept the roles that it was exposed to, the masculine and feminine, will be a step ahead towards accepting himself or herself and be more free. So let's see what else comes through with singing bowls. And again, we are still connecting to the frequency of the inner child with this frequency of the divine feminine and the mother energy that is coming through in a completely new way, in a way that women don't know, men don't know. It's something that it's a very high frequency, a mix of passion and love and warriorship and a sense of creating freedom around her and inside of her. Breathe in and just feel how the energy of the masculine and the feminine that we are tuning into the prototypes that we carry inside, and the frequency was going sometimes very vibrant and very vivacious, and sometimes was kind of there was not much energy going on. It was very hard to. It's almost wanted to stop. So this is because we are touching inner parts that are not stimulated, they are repressed, they are suppressed. So it's interesting that when we go in this dimension, the sound becomes revelatory of what is bringing up, what is touching inside of ourselves. So if you felt that there was something that was not moving, it's something that was not really vibrating much, and something was a minute later vibrating. If you had these frequencies of in and out, up and down, it's because the masculine and the feminine are not in the same frequency. And vice versa, if you felt the sound that was just going and flowing like a river or like a nice vortex of water, then this is a sign that this nice exchange between the masculine and the feminine, and the inner child is receiving inputs from both sources of energies. So I'm going to do one more time, one more song, but this time we connected to the frog medicine. The frog medicine, it's really magical in a way because it's a song of gratitude, and it's always towards water. It's the abundance of water, abundance of rain, and it's really connected to our emotions and our inner leadership. So when we work on the inner child, there is always sometimes a confusion. Who is the leader? Is the leader the inner child because it's demanding attention and it's demanding his ways of managing life? Or it's the adult in you, the adult in us that is able to guide the inner child. So I'm going to dedicate this song, and I'm going to ask for this energy to penetrate this relationship between the inner child and our adult self, our mother self, our father self, to see who is in charge, who is guiding our action, our life. Okay, so let's go back to our singing bowls and see where we go at this point. It feels like there are new territories opening up, and it's really beautiful to allow the sound to open these spaces for us. And going to work a little bit with the Maranzano to again soften up what we know, the bridges that we know already, and open these bridges, open really allow the sound to go through the walls, to go through the rigidity, to the story, to the self that identifies to with a story. So we become stuck in the walls of the story. The story is really sacred, and we need to honor it and resolve it, understand, see what it is that we want to receive from the story. But we should really be careful not to identify ourselves. So the story is an experience, and it's a way, almost a space we enter to experience something, to be transformed. And ultimately, we should always be transformed in a positive way, in a way that makes us grow, and release the story in order to really achieve the growth. The way we release the story is through lack of identification with the story. So let's see if this sound can help us. If you put intention in the sound to help us break the identification with the story, will really be helpful. I hope you enjoyed this moment of connection, inner connection, and really understand how the inner child is in need of attention and how the adult self really needs to be in charge. And being in charge means really being supportive, being super loving, rediscovering this role of leadership that comes from this reinvented masculine and feminine with Mars retrograde, stationary retrograde, and the Virgo season culminating today with the Virgo new moon. Please feel free to check my Facebook page. Tonight we're going to connect to sound and meditation and the visual activation cards for the new moon meditation, and will be very fantastic. We're going to go deeper into the meanings of the planets around Virgo constellation and the new moon, and how important this new moon is. It's like really a new beginning, and will intensify the rest of the year, will give a lot of meaning. And if you want to join, it would be really beautiful to have you there. Just go and click in this link in the Facebook page to reserve your spot. So thank you so much for being with me here today. Enjoy your company, and thank you for dedicating your time sharing it with me. Thank you.